G'day mate, how you going? Welcome back to another cut above with Chris. I'm Chris and you're not. What the fuck is that all about? I'm CDB and you're not. Do you know something? I'm fucking that close to start watching his channel. It does my fucking head in that. No, I'm CDB and you're not. All I can say is thank fuck. Anyway, straight into my shave. That's about as good as an Australian accent as I can do. You'd think after 10 years in this country I'd be pretty much speaking pure Aussie. Unfortunately, this is my Aussie. I've been basically trying to suck a little bit of Scottish out every year to make life a little bit easier speaking to Australians, or Australians, as they are over here. And for some weird unknown reason, I have to use my Glaswegian nasal tone to speak different languages, or different accents, sorry, I don't know why. So straight back at you, Spencer. I'm expecting a good Glaswegian accent, so I'm expecting something a little like this. Alright man, how you doing that? Any chance you can do your voice out tomorrow when you're doing a Glasgow accent, you know? If you didn't do it like this, then I'm going to be pissed off, you know what I mean? So, something a little bit like that, Spence. You've opened a can of worms, mate. Everyone in the world is going to be all over you now like a fucking rash. Anyway, back to my shave. Wickham. I keep putting it over here, I don't know why the fuck I'm doing that. It's because I've got this rear facing camera. Let me just check it's actually fucking recording. I'm not sure. Wickham 1912 Magnum. Scent on this one. It's a cologne scent. I've got a little bit of a thing for cologne scents right now, and Wickham do it better than anyone at the moment as far as I'm concerned from everything I've used. But this just smells great to me. I can't put my finger on it. It's a scent which I think I've smelled before, but I've got no idea what it is or where it's come from. Carnavis and Richardson Katie's Bubbles collaboration brush today. So this one has got the 24mm TGN, or the golden nib knot in it, and hopefully that's coming up nice and focused for you, but you can see the gel tips on that. Let me just see if I can get around here. Yeah, I think that's focused. Yep. So you can see those tips just gelling like mad there. It's just a phenomenal knot. This was sent to me from Ivy Chapel over in the States. You can see it's starting to get a little bit of where it's tarnishing here with a patina, but it's just a beautiful brush. It's really nice. It's getting a little bit of scratching on the bottom now. There was a label on here that's had the Katie's Bubbles label, but unfortunately it just looked shit, and as I was polishing it up it was starting to take the colour off, so I whipped the whole label off. Right, I've just flicked out biggest part of the water out of this brush, straight into the tub. Now I haven't put any lights on in here today because I found when I watched the video back from yesterday that the lighting was probably just a little bit too much. It was causing the focus to go in and out with the auto exposure. So I'm hoping that the rear facing camera deals with the lighting issue on its own. So we'll soon find out. The good old Aussie accent. And how's Spencer, eh? Fucking puts his video on this morning, talks it all up, uses my brush, uses my soap, and then says that he's been watching Jeremy. Good old Jeremy Smith. I think what he actually meant was Jeffrey Smith. So I think Spence is just trying to single-handedly change everyone's name in the world. I mean, he's got a hell of a task in front of him. Right, that's completely, absolutely chockers. It really is. Quite a dry load. As you can see, there's nothing in there. If you want to check out the ingredients, I'll just see if I can get that to focus there for you. I think that's focused. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it has. You can always pause it and have a look anyway. I do find the quality, I did watch the quality back yesterday, and it's a much closer image, unfortunately for you guys, but you can really see the lather. You can actually see things when it focuses on it, so it makes a difference. And also, Spencer, your Android phone, mate, is fucking shit. That's one of the worst quality videos I've ever seen. It was like 45 candles in front of you, just fucking smashing you in the face. It was flickering everywhere. I almost had a fucking epileptic fit watching it, mate. Fucking full of beans. That Aussie accent's done that to me. You'll have to excuse the language, by the way, any of you young guys or young girls that watch this, any kids that watch this with mum and dad, I do apologise. It's just me, that's what I do. Right, let's wipe my face. Cold water shave. Well, lukewarm water shave. I don't really have too much cold water here at the moment. It's freaking boiling. Weather's still quite erratic. Just checking this camera's bloody label. I think it is. The wife reckons I've got one leg shorter than the other, and I tend to sort of agree with her. Can't put things on a wall straight without a spirit level, but then again, that's what a spirit level was invented for. When I worked with my brother-in-law as an electrician, well, an electrician's mate, I worked with him for years, and we used to put the sockets on the wall. I could never get the fucking thing straight, so I had to buy 2 spirit levels, a tiny little one for tight spaces, and then I had a bigger one that I carry as well, just so I can put a socket on a wall straight. Or hang anything on a wall if I was doing an external light and I had to go in straight. Then I had to use the spirit level. But ultimately, everything I put on the wall then was fucking spot on. So I'm just painting water into this now. The knot on this brush is absolutely beautiful. Now I don't know if the golden nib knots are still the same. I have heard that they're not as good as they used to be. But if you get one and it's like this, you'll know exactly how it feels. It just feels phenomenal. It's not got the most amount of backbone. In fact, it's not got the greatest of backbone at all, but it's just beautiful. It's got great flow through. For those of you again, once again, flow through is pretty much, I'll just see if I can steer it to focus. So this bit of soap that's coming through on the side here, that's basically your flow through. So as you can see, there's not much on this side, but the more I use this brush and actually put the lather up, you'll see the flow through coming through. The flow through coming through. And this is where I was getting sort of stuck with natural hair brushes. I was expecting the lather to build up like that down here, which it does still do, but not quite as much. This knot is slightly better for that. It does tend to leave the lather on your face. But what I find with my Morrison Fondren, my Mergress brush with the Manchurian White, and my silver tip West Coast shaving brush, is that the flow through works a lot better. So the flow through in this one, I'm not going to say it's not great because it's not really required. It doesn't really need it. But I'll see if I hopefully can sort of give you an idea what it looks like. So I've got my uniform fitting tomorrow for the transit office. So hopefully my medical went well, other than I've got varicose veins on my leg. I've had them for years, and they've obviously gotten to the point where this doctor was a bit worried about them. So I'm now wearing calf compression from Skins. Whenever I'm playing sports at work, anything that involves me actually more than just walking to the kitchen and back. So hopefully it doesn't affect my application, because there is obviously a chance that it might. That is absolutely phenomenal. The scent's great, lather's amazing. So you can see the flow through now quite clearly where it's going around the side, and I'll show you when I do my next lather, my second lather, what I do with it and how I use it. Right, God, do you know something about artisan shaving soaps? They taste exactly like they smell. You know, like you slice an orange open, you put it in your mouth, it tastes like it smells. This is the exact same with the soap. When you get it in your mouth, it smells like that. It tastes like that, sorry. Right, Rockwell 6C, which hopefully, now that I've got this bloody camera, yeah, there we go, I think, come on. I can actually focus on things now. I'll see if I move my hand away, it doesn't. So these are absolutely stunning razors for the money. But I will most likely grab the 6S at some point, the stainless version. This is just chromed zinc alloy, I think. So hopefully you can see. Plate number 3. People say R3, but that's what I've got in there. And I've got the Persona Med Prep. I have no idea how many uses is on it. Let's just see how it feels. feels amazing. And you guys can probably see, and I noticed myself yesterday, more so with this camera, I'm needing an old hair trim. So I think I've got, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 days growth now. Now what I'm noticing at the moment, I'm normally really red under here. Now I've been shaving every day, probably for the last 2 weeks maybe, and I haven't, the redness has actually died down. I don't know what's going on. Normally most people would probably get worse, but I'm not. I'm actually, it's clearing up. Yeah, just a phenomenal razor. I'm still not sold on that base plate, the shape of it with the 2 bumps on the bottom as well. I'm just not sold on that. Still not the best looking razor, but it is a great looking razor for what it is. It just doesn't tick all the boxes for cosmetics for me. But for the price, you don't get much better for the price in my opinion. You really can't. Right. So, flow through. For those of you that don't know what it is or have never used a natural hairbrush and you're thinking about getting one, so the flow through is right there. It's all sticking out the side of the brush. So what I generally do for this second lather is I actually scoop it all onto my chin like that. So now you can see it. Obviously the hairs are twisted round a little bit, but you'll be able to see, hopefully. Is that focus? Yeah. You can see where the hairs have twisted round, but there's no soap on the flow through now. So what I do now is I just go straight into the sides, under my neck, right under my chin, and just leave that soap on my chin at the moment. Just going to dip the tips, just a little bit dry. So as you can see, so from that side, excuse my massive nose, as you can see the soap's just on my chin there. So all I do now is I just pull it to the sides and paint it on. So there's still a little bit on there now because that's where I painted it side to side, and then I just go straight back into building the lather. And what will happen is the flow through will happen again. I'll get more flow through this time, and then I basically scoop it on my chin at the start of my next lather. I'll use it right now because as I'm painting here, so there we go. I keep putting it to the side. I'm not used to having the thing in front of me, so plenty still on the brush. That lather is a little bit thinner. It's not as thick as it was yesterday, but you know what, stuff it, I've got a bit of time. Just dip the tips. I know there's more than enough soap in the brush. That's better. That's better straight away. Much better. Right, Rockwell 6C Persona Med Prep, which is basically an uncoated Persona Lab Blue. Now I think, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Oive Chapo sent me this box of blades. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he did. Now, if this is the first video you've watched, first video of mine that you've watched, and you've stayed this long, the chances are you've possibly enjoyed it a little bit, maybe learned something from it, or you're ready to tell me something I don't know, which would be great, because I'm just learning all the time. But it would be much appreciated if you just hit the subscribe button, which is normally down to the bottom right, I think, as you're looking at the screen. I have not asked that question for a long time. I just thought stuff it'll stick it out there again. My subscriptions have grown exponentially in the past sort of 3 months. It's been really good. I've been really impressed and get a lot new comments, new people commenting on the videos and stuff, which is nice. Now, this soap in particular, I don't know why, isn't as slick as Wickham normally is for me. Feels quite not slick. Residual slickness I'm talking about. Yeah, you can see that. So, unusual, really unusual. I haven't had that problem with the Wickham soap. So, I have with the super smooth version, but not the 1912, so I'm a bit surprised by that. Beautiful to shave with. But then again, I still think natural hair brushes can alter a soap ever so slightly. Don't ask me why, there's no science behind it. It just does something different to the soap. I know you natural hair guys out there will be shouting at the screen, yeah, it does better things to the soap. I have had excellent lathers recently from all my natural hair brushes. You can't win them all. You know, you're going to have a bad lather every now and then. From any soap. Sometimes you just don't get it right, sometimes you have a bad day. Sometimes you might hit a patch in the soap that doesn't have all this good stuff in it that's required to make it slick. So So you guys out there that love to feel the blaze for your everyday shaves, this probably isn't the razor for you. I don't find, on sec 3 anyway, on plate 3, don't really feel the blade at all. I feel it cutting. I know it's efficient because it's not leaving anything on my face. It's really chopping the hair down, which is great, but I'm not getting any irritation from it. I mean, the slickness is building, but by a third lather, I mean, this is the fourth lather I'm putting on now, I'm expecting the slickness, residual slickness on my face after I've shaved to be phenomenal. And today it's not. So this last lather, as you can see, much thinner. There's not a whole lot left in the brush. I do find with natural hair brushes you do lose, for some reason you lose some of that soap or something happens along the way. as you can hear, and I can certainly hear. There's literally no feedback now, no audible feedback from the razor because there's literally no hair left. Now that being said, there's no residual slickness, hardly any. In fact, it's probably next to none. One thing that's for sure, and I always get this a week, no matter what happens, moisturised skin straight after the shave. My skin feels tacky to touch. It's just great. It's a really, really good quality soap. Smells fantastic. I haven't had a bad scent from Wickham yet. I've had scents that don't really do anything for me. Russian leather's not my sort of thing. I've got Barrister and Man Classic Reserve, which is pretty much, excuse me, same thing, Imperial leather scent. Not my favourite scents, but they're still great scents. You can't disagree with them. They smell exactly like they're supposed to, and they smell great for what they are. It's not like I'm smelling it and it's a horrible scent, it's just not my style. But this is a similar sort of thing with this one. This one smells great. It smells really great. I can't put my finger on what it is. It has got an old man sort of smell about it, as in like, no, I don't mean old man, but a sort of old school sort of scent, like maybe back from the 40s, 50s. That's where I would imagine this scent would have sort of originated from. And obviously it's got good old Magnum there with a mow on the front, which I won't be growing anytime soon. Right, Thea's. Let me see if that focuses. Yeah, look at that. I've got to come to the side a little bit. I can't give you a dead centre because I can't see it because my mount's in front. But there we go. Thea's in focus, original. So this one smells far, far superior to Humphreys original. The Humphreys original to me smells a bit like bacon, like smoky bacon. It's a really weird scent, and I've caked it in lime oil now, just trying to get rid of that scent from it. And it does smell better now, but not much better. It just sort of smells like lime coated bacon, maple glazed, but lime glazed bacon. Right, I'm just pulling the brush out now. Definitely one of the best knots I've ever seen in a brush. Not the densest knot, it is quite a flimsy, there's not a lot of hair in there, but the hair that's in there is quality stuff. So I've flicked out a lot of the excess water there, but it's pretty much all flicked out, but you can still see those gel tips are just phenomenal. Oh, smells brilliant. Do you know something? When the scent goes into your brushes, it's absolutely brilliant. My little pink West Coast shaving one, after using the blue from Wickham yesterday, just smells divine. It really does. Right, so while that Thea's is drying in, we can have a look at the soap. The soap today was Wickham 1912 Magnum. Hopefully you can see that, hopefully that's focused, I think it will have. It smells phenomenal. A beautiful cologne scent. It's not as nice as Le Bleu and definitely not as nice as Classic 24. It's probably my third favourite out of the Wickham line, but still better than most other cologne scented soaps that I've smelled from other companies. Just smells great. Brush, which I've obviously just showed you, was the Carnavis and Richardson, which looks absolutely phenomenal, and it just works a treat and now smells great. Oh yeah. Rockwell 6C, which is a chromed cheaper metal sort of razor. It's a 3-piece razor. It's a lot of weight and heft to this razor. Let me see if I can. It's got a bit of soap scum on there now, but it's a beautiful razor. This one actually came, I don't know whether you can see the dent on this corner here. You see where it's not a sharp edge, it's sort of dinged. It came like that, and it is a little bit annoying if I'm honest. But it's just, I think the $50 in the States, you really can't go wrong. It doesn't affect the shave at all, I don't think. If it does, then it can always shave better. Right, I think I'm dried in that. Oh yeah. Same again as yesterday, Nivea Too Faced. And as you can see, there's literally nothing left in there. You give it a good shake, it goes that nice sky blue sort of colour. Very, very minimal burn. I just get similar to yesterday, where I was getting just little spots here and there, literally individual spots. I could almost pick them all out. But as you can see, very glossy finish. But when you actually let this dry in over the next 5 minutes, it absorbs, feels great, and your skin's great for hours, days. It just, this morning when I woke up, my skin felt amazing. So, amazing product, Nivea Too Faced. It really is. Absolutely brilliant. I've only got a little bit left in there, one more use. And that's me done and dusted. So you guys have a fantastic start to the week, as I have. We've plenty of work booked in this week. And you guys stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Cheers.